Hey beautiful souls, David Essery here, and in this video I wanted to share with you a message from the incredible Archangel Zadkiel, offering an opportunity for personal and an incredible planetary service work. Let's dive straight into it, shall we? I'm going to kick things off by reading his message, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit more detail. This is what he had to say. Beloved sons and daughters of the great and mighty love that knows no bounds, I wish to speak to you now of the great purifying flame that consumes all density, that imbues love, and that shall be given freely to all the children of earth. Yes, I say, all the children of earth. That flame of true violet that sees all, that knows all, that loves all, flows in abundance. The time has come for an acceleration within the collective. For you see, the children have been overcome by fear. This process of ascension has caused great strain to all the souls, whether you may see them as awoken or not. Please recognize that they have each been on their own process, and that has pushed them to their absolute limits. Some of these souls have recognized this opportunity and chosen the path of virtue. Others have let fear overturn their true center and regressed into their 3D nature. This is where I offer my assistance. Unified with my child as a great director, we shall stand together and draw down that qualifying flame into all that is, and allow its radiance to drive out the shadows, allowing those still struggling to see with violet eyes the opportunities that lay before them. This shall provide a great comfort to all who receive its touch, offering clarity, release, and opportunity for realignment to their universal truth. Blessed be all those who receive the violet fire. Yours in loving anticipation, Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you, Zadkiel, for that beautiful message. So, essentially, he is giving us a call to action, an opportunity to stand up and use our power as a sovereign being, as an individual with free will, to direct essentially the violet flame for the betterment of our planet, to help all of the people here. Which is always an incredible opportunity, and getting to work with Zadkiel is such a lovely thing. So I'm just going to break this message down a little bit more. He wants to speak to us now of the great purifying flame that consumes all density, that imbues love, and that shall be given freely to all the children of earth. Of course, he's talking about the amazing violet flame. Archangel Zadkiel is one of the incredible souls who added his energy to form this powerful tool. If you're not familiar with the violet flame, I've done a couple of videos on this recently that might be of help to you. I will link them up here on YouTube and down here on Facebook. He goes on to say, yes, I say, all the children of earth, that flame of true violet that sees all, that knows all, that loves all, flows in abundance. The time has come for an acceleration within the collective. Collective being essentially humanity. He's talking about directing the violet flame to every single person on Earth for an acceleration of us as a species as this ascension process. He says the children have been overcome by fear. This process of ascension has caused great strain to all their souls, whether you may see them as awoken or not. Please recognize that they have each been on their own process, and that has pushed them to their absolute limits. And this, I think, is a really important thing to recognize as he's calling us to, is that whether people, we perceive them as awake or not, every single person on this planet is going through this ascension process right now. Everyone is facing their shadows, whether they are, working with energy or the angels or meditating or whatever it is, or whether they're still just going about living their daily lives. We are all going through this process. We are all acclimatizing to the incredible vibration that the planet is holding. We are all receiving all of these energies from the universe, from all of these crazy alignments that we have over and over again. We are all affected by this stuff. And we're all going through our own process. And, those of us, you and I, we know how challenging this process is. And it is that pushed us to our absolute limits. And I often think to myself, I've said this before on here, that as difficult as it is for us, at least I understand why we're going through this. I understand why the world is the way it is. And I have tools available to me to help me cope through this, through grounding, through energy work, etc., etc. I know what to do in these situations, and I can kind of respond to help myself to not have any idea what's going on this planet and just seeing what appears to be a rapid decline within our society, and to see just the challenges of daily life. It must be completely overwhelming for people. And, this is what's pushing them to their limits. And of course, this is part of the process. We know that this is bringing up the shadows to the surface for release. It's bringing everything out that's been happening within our society, unknown for so long, just bringing it to the surface so it can be released. But that doesn't mean it's any less challenging. And I've said here on a couple of occasions before that I genuinely think that it's fear that's holding back this ascension process. And that's kind of in two main parts. There's this kind of fear of stepping into, speaking up, right, to actually change our society. People see what's going on in the world, and I do genuinely believe that people want things to change. But when the rest of the world is acting in a more negative way, it can be very scary for people to kind of stand up and say, no, I want to do something different. We should be doing this in a different way. And it really is that fear that holds people back. It's when we have a few brave souls who do step forward, that are in the spotlight essentially, and act as a beacon, a guiding light to show people a better way, that will give others the confidence and the strength to stand forward and come together. And when we come together as a group in the public and really start realizing that it's the people that have control, then we will start changing things very, very rapidly. But we are in this state of fear at the moment where this process is bringing up all of our shadow work. It's bringing the worst parts of us up personally and as a society. And it's very easy to just get frustrated and stressed and, yes, afraid by the state of the world, by the situations that we go through. And then it's very easy to lash out because of that fear. It's really, really hard when you are in a state of fear to remain in your heart and to act in that open and loving way. It's much easier to look out for yourself and not your neighbor, and to start to hoard things for yourself. The classic thing during lockdowns and the toilet paper shortage and stuff like that is a classic example of that, when all of a sudden we thought all the shops were shut and everybody had to have toilet paper, and people bought so much of it that it left others without any. And that's a classic example of that. Fear makes people kind of selfish in some respects. They then start looking out for themselves to protect themselves so that they feel safe to counteract that fear. Without that fear, it's much easier to be that open, loving, heart-forward person that we need to be in order to create great change on this world. And this is what Zadkiel is saying. He says that this process has pushed them to their limits. He says some of these souls have recognized this opportunity and chosen the path of virtue, essentially the higher path. But others have let fear overturn their true center and regressed into their 3D nature. And this is what we're seeing as a collective. People returning to those instincts of greed and selfishness, anger, frustration, And that's what's forming a lot of the scenarios that we're moving through as a planet at the moment. But this is what he's offering his assistance for. He says, we shall stand together and draw down that qualifying flame into all that is, and allow its radiance to drive out the shadows, allowing those still struggling to see with violet eyes the opportunities that lay before them. So he's talking about a downpouring of the violet flame for the entire planet, essentially to cleanse and purify absolutely everything. The amazing thing about the violet flame is it transmutes lower energies into love. So by clearing, we're going to be spreading the energy, the vibration of love across this planet. And of course, the violet flame operates under the law of grace. So we can send it to absolutely everyone. And it's up to their higher self to decide whether they accept it or not. And of course, everyone on this planet right now knew when they were incarnating here that this process was going to be going on, and they've chosen to be here at this time. So really, there's not many people on this planet who wouldn't accept something, on a higher self perspective, who wouldn't accept it under the law of grace. And this gives us an incredible opportunity to help a huge number of people. He says it will allow those still struggling to see with violet eyes, which I think is such a beautiful sentiment, to see the opportunities that lay before them. Because if we can break down all of the fear, if we can push all of that back, everyone on this planet has their heart open. They're just not behaving in that way because the fear is overriding it. So we can help them with that. We can come together. We can invoke the violet flame to cleanse and purify this entire planet and every single soul on it, so that the people may see with clarity and move back into that heart open state, and we can begin to work together as one. He says this shall provide a great comfort to all who receive its touch, offering clarity, release, an opportunity for realignment to their universal truth. That universal truth that we are God, that we are Spirit, we are one, we are all connected. This is what it's going to help them see, because this is what they've been going through with their own ascension journey. As the heart opens, this is the most important lesson that we all learn. And this was something that happened as an activation for everyone at the Lion's Gate last year. But we've lost that clarity. The people have been distracted by fear. And the world has created a lot of distraction for them. And that's part of, the engine that's trying to get everyone to look away. And that's where we don't want to put our energy right now. We want to bring it back to here. He ends it, blessed be all those who receive the violet fire, as he rains his blessings down upon us. So, this beautiful opportunity that Zadkiel is presenting with us, I am very pleased to facilitate as a workshop, which I'm running next Thursday, the 27th of February. Of course, if you're watching this video in the future, there will be a recording of that workshop as well. And the way that time and energy works, it's a crazy thing, but essentially means that even you can do a recording long after an event has happened and still add your energy to it, because time is not linear. And therefore you can add your energy in the future and it will be back here for when it's ready for use now. Time is awesome. But yes, anyway, so that workshop is happening on Thursday, the 27th of February. And what we're going to be doing, what's really exciting, is that Zadkiel essentially is going to help us to create our own facet of the violet flame for use in this workshop. So there's been many, many facets of the violet flame. I talked about this in my video the other week, like the lilac fire source, the golden rainbow fire, violet flame of the one true heart. And essentially all of these are energies where they've taken the violet flame and another being or beings have added their energy to it. For instance, the golden rainbow fire is like a beautiful cooking pot of loads of ascended masters and archangels that added their energy to it, raising its vibration and making it even more powerful. And this is what we're going to do. We as a group in this workshop are going to take the violet flame and we're going to share our love and our vision for a united world, and pour it into the violet flame to create our own facet for this incredible work. And he's actually, first of all, going to kick things off with a clearing for each of us individually, directed by Archangel Zadkiel himself. He's going to pour this violet flame into us for a really, really deep cleansing to assist us on our personal journeys. And then we're going to unite our vision and spread that to the entire planet. It's going to be an incredibly beautiful and transformative experience. So if you feel like joining us for that, for adding your energy to the violet flame and do this important service work, I'd absolutely love to share it with you. I'll include the link down below with all of the details. And then the same link will take you straight to the recording if you're watching this at a later date. So whether you're joining us or not, or whether you just feel like adding your energy to the pool, sending a bit of love on that night, we'd love to have you as a part of the collective. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe. I regularly share channel messages, meditations, all sorts of stuff around the whole spiritual kind of field, and we would love to have you as a part of our community. Thank you so much for watching today, and sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Bye-bye.